Hello everybody, I'm your host Glazar, and today I have asked my community tab for their Dandy's World hot takes, and we've got about 30-ish to go over. So, that's what I'm doing today. I'm going over all of these different hot takes, and before we get into the video, I have one thing I would like to say. If my microphone sounds a bit off, I don't know if it actually is. It sounded off when I was doing a test, so just tell me if it's normal in the comments, please. Okay, with that being said, our first hot take is by French Leaf A350, who says, hot take, GG's coin is actually good. You can get a huge 12% walk/run speed boost, which is huge if you're a distractor. You can also get a 12% extraction speed buff. This is terrific. GG's coin is an amazing trinket if you're lucky. Now, I spend all my luck on shiny hunting, so I don't know what that's like, but it could also absolutely mess your run up. So, you could get a stealth boost as a distractor. You don't want that. That could make it harder, but then again, it's only for one floor. But it could be worse if you're unlucky. If you really wanted that 12% speed boost, I would go with Dog Plush, and you could get 7.5 from Blue Bandana, but that decreases skill check. So, I definitely see what you mean. I would say it is a solid trinket and definitely worth using. But our next hot take is by Axo18F, or I8F, who says Sprouting is useful for mains and it good to have on all times. So, first time I read this, I thought they were referring to Sprout. They are likely referring to his trinket, which is... Where is it? I lost it. Where did... Savory Charm. Savory Charm basically is like a last chance sort of thing. It essentially gives you 4 hearts, but only once. So let's say you're on 1, and you run into a twisted. Boom, Savory Charm saves your life. You're invulnerable for 10 seconds, which is hopefully enough time for you to get away. But it doesn't work against Dandy, which... Alright, that's not too bad. The only issue is it works one time and one time only. Like, you use it, there's no way they could make it so it works like every 10 floors. It would be overpowered if that was the case. But, yeah, I'd say it is pretty useful. Our next hot take is from... Pardon me, Michael. I'm going to mispronounce this last part. Michael Levong? Is the V silent? I don't know, you tell me, please. Brightney's 1-star stealth ruins whatever the distractor tries to do. Yes. Holy cow, she has 4-star extraction speed? How did I not know that? Alright. I used Brightney to get her mastery. I have not used the tune since, and I don't think I will. If you use Brightney, props to you. Just please don't get into the distractors. Mel the Budgie says, alright, this is a mega hot take. Cransett is better than Fancy Purse. So, Cransett is Scraps' trinket, while Fancy Purse is Tegan's. And what they do is very separate things, but basically, Fancy Purse just gives you 100 tapes at the start, which is very useless. Like, sure, maybe you could get the floor 1 medkit, but if you're making it past floor 5, it's a waste of a trinket slot. Whereas Cransett, you're just actively getting... where is Cransett? Hold on. How do I lose trinkets? Whereas Cransett gives you a random item from the uncommon tier every new floor, if user's inventory has a slot open. Dandy's shop exclusive items are included. So, I would say 100%. I would want to run anything besides brick and coal for, like, I don't want to use Fancy Purse ever. I think it's the worst trinket in this entire game, along with Coin Purse. Like, for, what's it called? For brick and coal, it makes sense. They're supposed to add a challenge, but it just feels unnecessary for a trinket to be that bad when it comes to Fancy Purse and Coin Purse. So I 100% agree that Cransett is better. Alright, Awesome J Ranger says, distractors take a portion of the fun out of the game. It's true, you lose a whole lot of survivability, and I'm not going over it now because trust me, there are a lot of these about Distractor. Our next hot take is about Shelly. Shelly's boost ability, when machines are completed, she gets a 10 speed boost, is worse than Finn's. He gets 33%. Yes, Shelly's is worse, but she's still better. She has an ability, let me find it. She has 2 abilities, and overall, I'd say she has better stats. Wait. Their stats are the same, but Shelly has 1 more star. So Shelly's upgraded Finn. Huh. That's it. Yep. It is worse, but she has more stuff. So I don't know. Okay, that was from Rose Arts. Windesland says, stealth candy is good. It's a fact. I mean, like, the distractor's coming by. Hurry, eat the stealth candy. You're good. On to the next one because it's we don't have to talk about that anymore. Random account 51 says, Scraps and Razzle and Dazzle are good. So when it comes to Scrap, she has great stamina, but her movement speed is mediocre. So you have to be using that stamina. And Razzle and Dazzle, I like Razzle and Dazzle a ton. The whole gimmick, I love when characters are gimmicky like this. But I feel like all they would have to do to fix this, and if you don't know, on odd floors, both of your extraction speed stars go into movement speed, and on even floors, your movement speed go into extraction. That leaves you with 1 star movement speed on even floors, which is terrifying. So the best way to fix this is take 1 star from movement speed and 1 star from stamina, put it in extraction speed on even, 1 star from skill check and 1 from extraction speed, put it into movement speed on odd. And then Razzle and Dazzle is like better. I would definitely use them a whole lot more. Okay, The Lost Puppeteer says, mega hot take, Poppy is better than Boxden. Then they have an entire explanation which I will summarize. Basically, you need teammates, and in this game, teammates are kind of hard to get, especially good ones. So being able to just use a tune that doesn't need anyone else's help is better than having to use Boxden, who needs a teammate. And I'm gonna have to agree here because, well, like, everyone dies in this game. I think 1 out of 5 runs you'll make it to floor 10 with another person, and it's usually a duo or a trio. You rarely make it to like 15 without it just being you. So being able to just go solo like this is pretty easy. I remember I did a team run once as Poppy and just went to 20 after everyone died. Okay, next one is from Freedom Is My Name 450. He says, Extractor Pebble is one of the best builds in the game. Won't stop the glaze. Last part was in brackets. I am gonna have to agree here. Only kind of. So when it comes to extracting, let's say you go over here and you're working on a machine. This is a machine now. So you're doing your machine, and then the Twisteds come to you. You can just run away, and you're not getting hit. It's gonna take a lot longer. I would recommend extracting with Goob instead of Pebble. But with that movement speed, you're not getting hit again. So I say this is good. Yeah. Alright. Next one is by... Why did I say I would read the names? I'm so sorry. Wait, hold on. It looks like they might have a different... Okay. Thank you for having a different display name. Their display name is some random YouTuber. And they said, Pebble on floor 5 when you're doing a Shrimpo only run. Yes, that is terrible. It's not a hot take. Thank you, some random YouTuber. Creativity Skies says, Bobbet's Trinket is actually good on V. So, V specifically, they're talking about how it's good for her ability, so you can use it at the start of every floor. Which, if you don't know, Bobbet's Trinket, basically anytime you get into the elevator, only the part where you encounter Dandy's shop or the card vote, then its heal, their cooldown is just boom, back to full. If you're trying to get mastery with a tune that has a long cooldown, like Glisten, I would say that definitely works well. But it used to be so much better. So the second you step in the elevator, boom, it's refilled. So you could be Astro and just run, give people stamina, go back, give people stamina. It was broken, and then they fixed it. Which I understand why they fixed it. Because, why is V floating? What? She's floating. Alright. They fixed it because the event tunes don't need to be overpowered, because then it messes with the game, and new players, they can't get the event stuff without waiting. So Bobat's Trinket can't be too good, which is why it is where it is. Alright, here's another one about distractors. Distractors take all the fun out of the game. The game is supposed to be fun and challenging where you need to survive, but the distractors are taking away the stuff. This person has an entire story about how a Tegan forced them to distract when they were just playing as Tisha. And then the Tegan started griefing them and stuff. But basically, if you need a distractor that bad, don't play the game. Like, go do a solo run until you don't need a distractor. Tunes not getting added every update is good. What the? Oh, I broke something. I thought I deleted all the comments. Okay. Nimby Mac says, tunes not getting added every update is a good thing. I don't want there to be too many. Now, I know the basics of coding and stuff. Like, I know about game development and how long it takes. So I'm a whole lot more sympathetic for the developers on why every update doesn't have all these things people wanted. The devs are lazy and stuff. It's not true. Game development takes a whole lot of time, and people should be happy with what they get. On the tunes not getting added every update thing, oops, I almost fell. I 100% agree. Mainly for the reason that I need to like get the mastery skins for videos and stuff. So if we could hold off on adding new tunes until I'm done with these guys, thank you. But also, we don't want the game to be oversaturated. I think, if anything, the devs should focus on gameplay before they go back to adding new tunes. Alright, Futeo. Do you have a different display name? Futeo Moody? I don't know. Everyone should have played as Shrimpo at least once, if they have them. I think this is true. If you have Shrimpo, even if you don't, go buy him. He's 100 Ichor. Play as him for the one fact that it's a good way to get the grounds of the game. Like, you can get used to the mechanics and stuff, and it's going to be much easier when you switch to a normal tune. Alright, Paws of Jade said, hot take, Pinkbow is best for support and extraction. So, I 100% agree. There's a specific build I run on V where I use Pinkbow and... where's Pinkbow? And Nightcap. So what this does is, it allows you to run. You run to a machine, boom, you're working on the machine, and by the time you're even done, thanks to Nightcap's a thing that lets you increase your stamina regeneration while you're on the machine, you're full before you have to go to the next machine. The only issue is, once you're done with it, not once you're done with it, but if you're playing with other people and they get to a machine before you, you're just kind of left there with low stamina. But our next hot take is by the Dan37. It's about Roger. I bet you can guess where this is going. Roger's ability is trash. It doesn't really help in gameplay, and you can still get good research at a pretty good rate if you're just good. It's more fun to play with a tune that has a real ability. 100%. I don't like Roger. I used to play him. I played him for like, I mained him for like the first 2 months I played. And then I never played him again because I don't like how he works. It's like low movement speed and stuff. V is a better version, and these people will sacrifice themselves for research and just like die in front of you because you got a main on the thing, and then they're gone because they're like, oh, I got a main, time to go. Which is terrible because now you have one less person helping you out. Your team is smaller. And usually when one person dies, it's like a stack of dominoes and the rest do too. The next hot take is a crazy person. I'm gonna say it right now. I 100% agree with this. There is no way that I wouldn't agree with this. Anyone who's watched multiple videos on my channel knows that I like lore. I'm a big fan of lore stuff, and they say lore over ships. 100%. I don't really like ships. I'm a big fan of boats and steamboats, but ships are just kind of, they're not my thing. Alright, this one is by someone you probably know. This is a comment by V Cheese. And first one, box of chocolate is very useful and underrated. Agree, I feel like people should treat them more like band-aids, except, no, let's not have people treat them like band-aids, because then people would, like, yell at you for taking the box of chocolate. But yeah, it's very useful. Sprout is the best healer in the entire game. Agreed, because he doesn't need to give away a heart. Shelly and Gigi are the best extractors in the game. Yeah, I like having skill check and running. What is this? This setup. Participation award and magnifying glass. Every golden skill check fills it like a sixth of the way, and then you have more skill checks. It's very useful. I do find it funny because this is actually V-Cheese saying this, and he specifically says that Shelly and Gigi are the best extractors. He's V-Cheese though, so I find that funny. Alright, gumballs can be more useful than chocolate. Yes, I love getting an extraction boost with gumballs because it just helps out a ton, especially when I'm running an extractor like V. V-Mote is overrated and participation award plus magnifying glass is better. I agree on this one too, mainly because I stopped using V-Mote a long time ago when I started getting to higher floors, because when there are around 8 machines, or 8 plus, doing one instantly means nothing. You might as well have just wasted a trinket slot. Mainly because this lets you just work on machines faster, which is great. Next one, people are too picky when making runs. Absolutely. We should probably just, like, not do that. I play doors pretty frequently, and whenever you go into an elevator, people just come with you. You don't have to ask. You know it's gonna happen. You would make a private elevator if you didn't want them to come. And there are just, like, people with you now. You don't know who. You don't care who. That's your team. Okay. This one, the developers of Dandy's World don't want their community to be creative. Yeah, they take down fan games and stuff, but I haven't really looked much into that, so I don't have a full opinion here. This one is something I 100% agree with, but I'm giving you guys a pass because I've read the comments you put out. The community can improve in some ways. Definitely. So like I've already said, like, the people on, like, in my channel's comments are very kind people. Like, you guys say some pretty kind things. It's nice to read. But I have been looking on the Dandy's World Reddit to, like, find video ideas and look for things I can make videos about and find video ideas. And the people there are just not the kindest. And I'm sure it would be even worse if I were to look on Twitter. I don't use Twitter. Ever. Especially if you care about your sanity. Twisted Sprout is the hardest main to distract besides Pebble. So the thing about Pebble is I've never distracted him. I'm not a fan of distracting, so I don't know. But I am sure that Sprout is hard to distract because the floor tentacle, you have to avoid that and stay in a circle, like an area where people don't come, because people will accidentally steal the Twisteds off you, even though it seems like they're doing it on purpose sometimes. Now, this is one of the last 2 questions from V-Cheese. These were all from him, and it is, Blue Bandana is better than Wrench. I 100% agree here. I never liked Wrench, okay? Because V-Mode, I could get behind. You do an entire machine real quick. But Wrench, you just like do half of it. Or maybe it's 60%. It's not the best. Blue Bandana, it's kind of like the V-Mode versus participation and magnifying thing. It increases your extraction speed. And then this last one, which I'm going to use to segue into a different section of the video. Quasar needs more subscribers. Not a hot take. Yes, please subscribe. We're at 1,500 right now, trying to hit 2,000, then eventually 10,000 before summer. And I really need your help for that. If you don't want to do it for me, do it for V-Cheese. Now, this one is by Oliver. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your last... I don't think this is your last name. I'm sorry if I pronounced this wrong. Oliver Ashurst. Goob is the best distractor. I agree. So first, low stealth. Amazing. You have 2-star stealth. Maybe Shrimpo could get in your way. Maybe Brightney could get in your way. Maybe someone could use an air horn to take the Twisted off you. That's their own fault. If you're playing as Brightney or Shrimpo, you should be way more cautious than normal players. If you're using an air horn by the Twisted, you probably have to go do something like take the groceries inside. Next one is by Pinky Pinku Pinko. Most Sprout players are blind and cannot see the tapes even if they're right in front of them. Is this considered a hot take? No, but I agree. Why play Sprout if you can't see tapes? This one is by Harp, also Aqua. Quell should do more balance changes and changes to tune because for some reason she thinks every tune is fine. Clearly not. I'm pretty sure that it's not just Quell but the entire dev team, and it does seem like they do want to do balance changes. There have been reports of like scraps and R&D reworks. I don't know if it's true. Yes, I would prefer more balance updates and stuff, and like maybe adding trinkets and actual things to gameplay rather than just new tunes. Like maybe a new game, like a new mini game you get on the TV every 10 floors or something. That could be fun. Or maybe just more quality of life features. That's what I want right now. Drip Yes says, hot take, V is the worst main. She's the worst because she gets outclassed by other distractors. Example, Shelly and Glisten Plus. There is already a tune that is basically another V, Glisten. You can basically have one at the start of the game, boxed in, if you just have a good team that doesn't die at floor 1. Yeah, that's definitely possible. But I like V, so I agree with you, but I disagree with you via bias. Take with that what you will. Alright, this one is from Grace the Raptor, who says, Astro, Shelly, and Goob are all overrated. Almost choked on nothing. How do I do this stuff? This is why my stuff is usually scripted. Okay. Astro, Shelly, and Goob are all overrated. Mains aren't special. So, I just talked about how good Goob was. I feel like Astro is definitely overrated. 5-star stealth is cool, but like, what are you gonna do with that? I'm sure you can make use of it by doing machines in the distractors area and stuff, giving the distractor stamina while doing that. It's just not that. Alright. The rest, I'm going to say a couple that are all by Grace the Raptor. V is the best main. See, I agree with this via bias. Not because it's true. I like V. V is cool. Distractors ruin the game. Honestly, gameplay needs more. They're still a fan of the game. So, the way distracting has ruined the game. This is like the 5th comment about it so far, but I would rather have a team that doesn't care about distractors and is good as like themselves, so you can just get stuff done, than a team that needs a distractor to be able to go do machines, because it's just annoying to have people be like, no distractor, what are we gonna do? And then you just watch them die because they don't know how to play this game. Which is why I recommend, if you cannot survive without a distractor, just practice in solo runs a bit. That's the easiest way to get this game down. Okay, the art style could be better, but is actually really unique. So, I have a few comments about the art style. The reason the toons look like this is because they're supposed to be like cartoon characters from late 1900s and early 2000s, back when everything was still hand-drawn. So all the characters in the shows, it all had to be drawn easily, because each frame, and I think it's 24 frames per second, had to be hand-drawn. And so not only do the toons have this effect, like they look like they could be hand-drawn easily, but everything else in the game does too. Like the wallpaper here, that could be hand-drawn. And I feel like it's a really unique take on how to make a game about a cartoon. Alright, I was rambling for way too long about that last one. Dandy is extremely easy to avoid. True, the hardest twisted is probably Bobette. I mean, if you like get a band-aid on the floor with her, it's rough, but you're usually good. Alright, Astro should be cheaper. I think he's around almost 5,000. Yeah. Blackouts aren't a big deal. Getting hit floor 1 means nothing. That is true. You could get a really terrible floor 1 where you got like scraps and goob, and then you just barely survive. You can still survive for pretty long. The only good main trinket is V's, who has V-Mode. We've talked about this a few times. It seems like everyone has mixed opinions on V-Mode. Okay. The gameplay gets lame over time. Just surviving the high floors. They should add more. I feel like this is definitely the case. I really hope they add some more stuff like this soon. I would want them to prioritize the gameplay over new tunes. I've said that a couple times now. Last thought from Grace the Raptor is I think Glisten XV is kind of canon. In brackets, just a little. Now, honestly, I mean kind of. There is one cartoon of them talking to each other. The amount of similarities between the two there's a huge amount. But yeah. Alright, that's all from Grace the Raptor. Nimblix says distractors ruin the game and many pro players rely on them too much. I myself rely on them a lot, and it's only really required if you're trying to do a very high floor run. Like, for example, floor 100 runs. If you can't escape basic twisteds when there's only 2 to 4, you're not a pro. Coming from a person who isn't a pro themselves. I am going to have to agree here. This is one of many, many comments about distractors. Glisten is better than V because of speed. I'm pretty sure Glisten has one more speed star than V. Yeah. Glisten's pretty good. I've been trying to get his mastery lately, and he's pretty decent too. Okay, that was from Frogging Frogs, and this one is from Pure Vanilla Cookies. We shouldn't praise starters for doing everything wrong and messing up our runs. So what I think Vanilla Cookie is referring to here is people talking to starters like they're a preschooler. Treating people like that is a good way to get them to not want to play this game. And we don't want that. Now, I'm going to snap my fingers. I'm going to snap my fingers because we have to go to the roleplay mode real quick. 3, 2, boom. Okay, we're back, and this is Shelly. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you the animation because Gummy Bean says Shelly boost animation is ugly. Sorry, this is my opinion. Don't attack me. And this actually brings me to a point where I should say, don't be rude to anyone who had these thoughts, please. I talked earlier about how you guys are really nice in the comments. Please keep it that way. Alright, here's her thing. It's not the best, but like, I don't know what they mean by ugly. That confuses me. But you like what you like. You don't like what you don't like. Alright, that was from Gummy Bean. Distractors are bad. It feels like they should be the most intense role because the twisters are always on you. But no, it's lame. You have so much speed that as long as you're paying attention, you should be fine. And even if it was intense, for everyone else, it's so lame because the twisteds aren't a problem. It becomes difficult on higher floors with main twisteds, but how am I going to get there if as soon as I take 1 damage and have to stop distracting, my entire team is dead? So that was from Epic Lucas Gamer. And let's be honest here, this is one of many comments about distracting. You either get a team that's obsessed with distractors or one that doesn't care. You hope for the ones that don't care. Don't be rude about distracting, please. like forcing people to distract, that's a big problem with it. So, this video is getting pretty long, which is why this is the last comment. There are no more. I've read almost all of them. So this comes from Glamrock Gaming, who is a top commenter on my channel. And I just have a couple things to say. I'm pretty sure he read the comments. I skipped over a couple that didn't mean anything, and there were some that were just video idea suggestions, which I do appreciate when you guys give me those. I love making content that you guys suggest because you want to see it, and there's a good chance it'll perform well. So, Glamrock Gaming says, Rudy only run, but y'all use brick or pebble for only, and y'all randomize trinkets. So, I don't think he knew what the community tab originally said, because it says, "Quick, give me your Dandy's World hot takes. I need it for a video very, very soon." And I have a feeling he went to the comments, read that, and it was like, okay, oh, here's a video idea. But here's Rudy. I would put brick and pebble. Use brick or pebble. So he got pebble confused with coal, which makes sense. They look the same, but it was just a funny thing to read. So, with all of that being said, I have a few things I would like to go over. First, in a pinned comment by myself, actually no, there's going to be a pinned comment by my second channel that will read something along the lines of, "Here's the group link, please join, because tomorrow, in just one day, I'm giving away 500 Robux to one lucky viewer who joins the group and subscribes." That's literally all you have to do. Both of those are free. You could get 500 Robux for free. But please subscribe, like the video. Yeah, and with all that being said, don't eat rocks. I'm your host, and stay entertained.